So the latest entry in the Fate franchise, Fate Samurai Remnant, has just updated its website and has its first official trailer posted. To not waste too much time explaining, I'm gonna assume you are familiar with the Fate franchise or are at least aware of its main premise and go ahead with the trailer of the game. So the first few seconds of the trailer are short anime snippets of the protagonist duo amid scenes of battle with the opponents they face, or at least the corpses remain, being men with samurai or ronin attires. On the game's website, it says that the game takes place in the 4th year of the Heian era, which is 1651 AD. The year is notable for almost having a massive ronin uprising, but the plan was fortunately discovered and was thwarted before any actual conflict took place. So these anime shots probably are there to signify that the protagonist duo will take an important place in the fight against the Ronin, though I think these shots most likely will just be used for the game's opening sequence and not actually played in-game. Next, we get to see a few short glimpses of the game with the protagonist duo running around town and getting into fights. If you know who is developing this game, then your first thought probably is, wait, is this a Musou? Well, the website describes the game as an action RPG, but yeah, so even if the game isn't outright a Musou game, don't expect its gameplay to be that much deeper than your average Musou. Moving on, this part here has one of the protagonists explaining about the premise of the game. That is, 7 masters fight until only one remains, and the winner will have one wish granted. This is also the premise of the first title in the franchise, with 7 masters fighting alongside 7 heroic spirits or servants for a chance at obtaining the Holy Grail to have one wish fulfilled. Though it seems like in this game, the characters fight each other not because of the Holy Grail, but because of a waxing moon ritual, whatever that means. The protagonist duo is one of the 7 bears participating in the ritual, while the identity of the main protagonist is revealed at the end of the trailer and on the website as Miyamoto Iori, an actual historical character. The identity of the other one is only listed as Saber, one of the 7 classes of the heroic spirits, though Saber's identity isn't really all that mysterious since the teaser has one really long shot focuses solely on the sword on Saber's hip. If you're familiar with Japanese mythology, then you probably would instantly recognize that this is the famed Kusanagi, so Saber could only be the wielder of the sword. Yamato Takeru. What's mysterious though is whether Takeru is still a dude or not, since the design and voice is rather boyish. Unfortunately, the website listed the voice actor as Yamamura Hibiku, who have mostly done female roles, so yeah, they cut off Takeru's dick, goddammit. Anyway, during these shots, you could see another new character pops up. This girl, Ogasawara Kaya, and her bio on the English website is a misplaced bio of another character. On the Japanese website, it says that she was an adopted child of Miyamoto Musashi, but got adopted by the Ogasawara family after Musashi's death. But she's still worried about her reckless brother and frequently travels to Asakusa to take care of Iori from time to time. A few seconds later into the trailer, Iori says that he cannot allow Edo to become a sea of fire. This is a rather interesting line because the plan of the Heian uprising I mentioned earlier involves the Ronin saying fire to Edo, then utilizing the chaos resulted from the fire, the Ronins would storm the castle and kill off several important officials. Historically, the plan was discovered before it being carried out, but the trailer does show off these shots of the town being engulfed in flames. So in this game, the plan could very well be a success instead, possibly serving as the climax of the game even. Fast forward a little bit, Iori recognizes his master, Miyamoto Musashi, most likely thanks to the fighting style like shown in the teaser trailer, because there's no way in hell he could do that based on appearance. The next few seconds show Musashi in action, so that means that playable characters won't be limited to just the protagonist duo. As a bonus, the website also listed Musashi as a berserker, so we also know that other servants, possibly Master 2, could also be playable. The fact that Musashi is a berserker is kinda weird to me, not because I expect Berserker Musashi to look like this or anything, but because her master is later seen in the trailer standing next to another character. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Getting back to where we left off in the trailer, we could see another new character covered in bandages. The game's website reveals that this man is named Chiamon and is a survivor of the Shimanbara Rebellion, a failed Christian uprising that happened 14 years before the start of this game. Chiamon is also listed as the Master of Lancer, and if you know the Fight franchise, you probably would immediately see that this Lancer bears the character design of Jeanne d'Arc, or rather her alter form. Though the fact that this character is a Lancer kinda makes me question whether she is actually Jeanne d'Arc or not, because despite common belief, Jeanne d'Arc historically did not fight like at all. She was a flag bearer and acted as a symbol more than anything. Not like Fate is a franchise known for upholding rules established in early titles or anything anyway, but even past Fate titles went out of its way to assign her to non-weapon specific classes, like Ruler because she was supposed to be the one to overlook the rule of a certain Holy Ground world, or Archer because she shoots dolphins and whales at you. Don't ask, Fate is a really weird and dumb franchise. What I think is more likely is that this character is Claude Duzamois, who infamously impersonated Jeanne d'Arc after Jeanne's death to make her plot more believable. Claude did both as a male soldier and killed 2 men in a fight. Lancer's biography on the website also specifically mentions that she wields 2 spears, so I think it kinda check out. After Lancer show off, we get to see another new character. The website reveals this character as Yui Shosetsu, who was one of the 2 masterminds behind the Kaya uprising I keep reminding you about. Despite the rather effeminate design, Shosetsu was historically a man, and the character's voice actor has had a career of voicing many male characters, so the chance of Shosetsu staying a dude is 50-50 to me. Shosetsu is listed as the Master of Rider, a fully armored knight who we briefly see glimpses of back in the teaser trailer. We get to see Rider in action a bit more in this trailer, but honestly, not by much. Since Rider is fully clad in armor and the voice actor is kept in secret, it's pretty hard to guess the true identity of this character. Though if you look close enough at the armor, you could see there's a crest of the Takeda clan visible on the armor. There is also the fact that Minamoto no Tatemoto has somewhat similar character design in Fate Grand Order, and the Takeda is descendant of the Minamoto, so there could be some kind of connection here. But to be honest, literally everyone worth their salt back then claimed to be either a Minamoto or a Taira anyway, so I'm really grasping at straws here. And the voice actor being kept a secret means that the character's identity could be a very big twist, like the character is actually an old character from a previous entry, or the character has a very close relationship with the main character. As it stands, I honestly have no idea who that could be. I'm gonna laugh my ass off if Rider is actually Takeru's wife and the reason she is a rider because she rides the storm to her death or something. A few seconds later is yet another pair of new characters. This girl is listed as Tako Dayu, who was an actual courtesan living during this period. Though it's kinda weird that the website also lists her as Master of Berserker Musashi because Tako appears in the trailer standing next to this rather servant look-alike dude. He's not updated on the website yet, so we still don't know who he is. Just that he apparently is not one of the servants participating in the Waxing Moon ritual. And maybe it's just me, but his attire kinda reminds me of the Spartans. Based on the black skin tone and shackles around his wrist, if he is somehow a heroic spirit, just not one of the 7 servants for some reason, then I could see him being Yasuke, the African slave who ended up becoming a trusted retainer of the infamous warlord Oda Nobunaga. But what do I know? Up next, we see another master. This young man is yet another historical character named Zhang Zhonggong. Zhonggong was born to a Chinese merchant and a Japanese woman and was a very valuable general of the Ming dynasty. He is also the master of Archer who can be seen in a blink and you miss it shot a bit later in the trailer. With just this very brief shot, it's very hard to pinpoint who Archer actually is. But since Jiamon earlier was a survivor of a Christian rebellion whose servant was also a Christian, I think it's rather likely that Archer is a Chinese just like his master, and the fact that this Archer uses a bow means he's an actual Archer too. Now I know that phrase just now sounds really dumb to those who doesn't know the Fate franchise, but you'd be surprised at how many Fate Archers are actually just people who throw random bullshit at the other side. Anyway, when talk about the Chinese archers, a few comes to mind, but if I have to pick one, I think UFA is the most likely candidate due to some similarities in Chang'ong's and UFA's military careers. After Chang'ong's appearance, the trailer introduces yet another master and servant pair. The master is a woman named Dorothea Coed, who is not an actual historical character as far as I can tell, but she does have ties to the Clock Tower, a rather significant and important entity in the lore of the Fate franchise. Her servant is of the assassin class and can be seen not so briefly here. It looks like Assassin can elongate his arms at will and has what looks like a snake tail on the arm here. These snake-like features make me think that Assassin could be Kogasaburo, who was a mythical character that got his body transformed into a snake after a trip across the underworld. It is still too early to say for sure, but I think that is a rather safe thing to assume. Also, Dorothea and Assassin can be seen standing on a multi-headed snake here. That's definitely the legendary snake Yamata no Orochi, no mistaking it. The last of the Master Servant pair can be briefly seen here, and the website does provide a clearer look at the Master, but there is literally nothing else about them that I can use to deduce their identity. The rest of the trailer are just more action shots, so I guess this is the end of the video for me. Thanks for watching and hope you found it somewhat informative and hope you have a great day.